Hey guys, it's Marcy from Heathers and Hops. We're going to do an awesome video today about the different adapters that you can get for your Valco baby Hitchhiker. Now, what you see in front of you is on the left you see a Valco Snap 4 Trend, and on the right a Valco Snap Ultra Trend. Now, the difference between these two strollers, the big difference is that the Ultra has a reversible seat and the 4 does not. On the left, I have my Hitchhiker attached to my Snap 4 Trend using what's known as the concealed brake model adapters. Look like that. And on the right, on my Snap Ultra Trend, I have the traditional adapters that come in the box with your Hitchhiker. So if you are familiar with the Lasco Maxi buggy board, these adapters might look a little similar to you. You know, they have these long arms that come out, and if you've seen my video comparing those two boards, then you know how these adapters work. But really quickly, there's a little arm right in here. I pull this button out, then I can pop that out, and I can also pop it back in. It's kind of hard to do this when the board's not attached to it, but I can pop it back in. So that's how the arm attaches to the stroller in those adapters, and you can attach the board there. Now, these adapters are great because they're permanently attached to the, well, not permanently attached to the stroller, but you kind of almost want to treat it like it's permanently attached. You basically just need to unscrew these, and you can loosen the adapter and take it off of the stroller and switch it in between strollers. Now, that's kind of a pain in the neck. It would be much easier if you could just clip the board right on and off, and that's where the concealed brake adapters come in, which is what you see over here. So you can see that the arm on the traditional adapter is much longer than on the concealed brake model, and what you want is for it to be shorter like this, because then you can stow the board away. It's really hard to do that when the board comes up so high to stow it away. It's kind of a pain in the neck. So with this, it's all ready for you. So what I'm going to do is show you how the board attaches with both of the adapters. So the way that I have this set up, when you put this on, you want this hook to open upwards so it looks like a U. That's important. You don't want it to be this way, because you can attach them, you know, on either side. You want it to look like a U. Okay, so now I'm going to put this back on. So I'm going to hook this under here like this. This is kind of a pain until you get used to it, and then it gets much easier. I'm going to hook these under here like this. Okay, and then pop that, and the board's on. Then you kind of want to play with it a little bit to get these pieces down as much as possible, like that, and click that in place. Okay, let me unlock it, and then you can see how it moves about freely. You can stow it away. So you can see here that I've got this clip in here, which comes with your Hitchhiker. I'm going to lift this up like this. Break on. I'm going to lift this up like this. Now, I'm not really sure the best way to do this. I'm just going to show you what I do. So I'm going to loop this through this handle. Loop this through this handle here. Okay. Lift the board up. I'm going to pull this, and then I've got this loop here. I'm going to loop it on right there. So now my board is stowed out of the way, which is great. It does block the basket when it's stowed out of the way, but that's going to be the case with any board. You kind of can access a little bit in here. So you also have access on the sides of your stroller and some access in the front as well. Okay, so even though you can't access from the back as easily, you can access from the sides, and that's the same in the Ultra. So I really like this. I think it's much easier to use once you get the hang of it than the other one, and you can switch it easily between strollers. So that's what it looks like, stowed away. Now, if I wanted to switch this to my Ultra. Because remember, now it's on the Snap 4 trend. If I wanted to attach this to my Ultra trend, I'm going to pull this down. So this pops out, by the way. I don't have to have this dragging on the ground or anything. I just push that button in, and then this will come out. There's just a little safety button there. And there it is, popped out. And then I can just pull it out. Very easy. Okay, now I'm going to remove it so you can see how that works. So you want to push these guys up like that. And then unlock this, and pull out like that. So it's super, super simple. And one thing you want to know, because what I was concerned about before I got these was, this is metal. Isn't this going to scratch up my frame? And what Valco did, which is great, they think of everything. This is all covered in like a clear rubber. And so is this. And so is this piece. So none of this is going to scratch up your stroller. And that's on both sides. So it's really fantastic. So when that's attached, it's very close to the stroller. When the board is attached using the traditional adapters that come with the board, it's different. So I'll show you that. In order to take this apart, what I'm going to have to do is, underneath the board, these screws, turn screws. So I'm going to have to turn these to loosen it, and then I can remove this completely from the board. And this pulls out like that. Same thing on the other side. And then this pulls out like that. Okay, so now my board is taken off. And what I'm going to do is slide this back into this side of the board, like that. And put this back in here like that. And then just kind of play around with, you know, how even it is on both sides. So this is great. It still works fine. You can totally use these. If you only have one stroller and you're not planning on switching it back and forth between strollers, then the traditional adapters are completely fine. But I have found that on the Valco singles, if you're going to use the traditional adapters, it's really not possible to stow this away because it's up so high. And I think that would be kind of a pain. So one thing that I thought about doing was shortening over here, because these are on the longest setting. So if you push these buttons, if you've seen my other video, you know, if you push these buttons, this makes it slide up and down here. If I did that, could I stow this away? And I guess I technically could. It's still pretty high up on the frame though. I think it's a much better stowing situation if you use the concealed brake adapters. So I'm just going to throw that out there. But that's what I would do. The other thing I want to point out about the differences between the two adapters is that to change the angle of the arms of the traditional adapters, you push this side button in, and that's going to allow you to play with the angle. On the concealed brake model, it's still a one-handed adjustment. So here it is. Okay, so there's no button over there like you have on the other one, but you push these two buttons in, and then you can play with it like this. So it's a little bit different. You push those two buttons in, and then that turns, and you can play with the angle. The other thing I would suggest is when you're playing with the width here, to keep these as close in as they possibly can go. I think it fits best that way.